the central point of the division for the women on SmackDown, and she had the title for a little while and then dropped it to Alexa. But Mickie just came back, so I think it would probably be rough to have Mickie James come back and lose immediately to Becky. So I'm going to say that Mickie finds a way to cheat and win this match against Becky Lynch.
I had the same problem thinking about that. I mean, you can't. Mickie James has done a great job since she's come back. I think I was watching SmackDown this week. I think she might have the best promo ability in the women's division, Raw or SmackDown. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say that's true.
Yeah, and I think she's gonna put butts in seats, if you will, and she can talk. Becky, on the other hand, I don't know. This is a tough one because I don't think you could have Becky Lynch lose again unless you're going for that underdog kind of thing. So I'm gonna echo your sentiments here as usual because and let's be honest, you booked it. So I'm gonna say Mickie James gets the win, and she looks like a strong heel. I don't know. When you have 3 women's division matches on a show, I have no problem with it. But then when you got to look long term, you got to see who's going to be pushed into the title picture. And you know what? I'm gonna spearhead this, buddy, and I'm gonna go ahead and look at the next match, which is the women's championship match. It's Alexa Bliss versus Naomi. Now, this Alexa's your champion. Naomi's the number 1 contender. She's the number 1 contender because she won what match did she win on SmackDown?
I think she pinned Alexa like twice in tag matches or something like that, and that made her the number 1 contender right away.
Okay. So I think it's too early to put it on Naomi, and I think Alexa Bliss is doing some really good stuff with the title. And now that I think about it, Alexa and Mickie kind of remind me of like a lower scale Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. So, and I'm really intrigued by it, and I just don't think you want to take the title off of Alexa Bliss just yet. You want to continue to establish her as champion. This would be her second really challenger since she beat Becky, correct?
Yeah, I think she kept feuding with Becky, and now she's just kind of started to move on to Naomi.
So yeah, I think it's too early for Naomi to take it. So I'm gonna say Alexa keeps the title.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Alexa keeps it also, and I think that, like you said, it's a little too early. I think if Alexa's gonna drop it soon, I think she won it in December, if I'm not mistaken, at the TLC pay-per-view. So I think at least keeping it on her until WrestleMania, give her a few months with it, and then maybe having a babyface win it there, whether that's Naomi or Becky Lynch again or somebody else. I think that would be the better course. So I think that Alexa Bliss will find a way to retain the championship on Sunday as well.
What do you think that's going to do for the women's title picture? Do you think she's going to keep feuding with Naomi?
I think Naomi will definitely stay in the mix because so the pay-per-view is this Sunday. The next, SmackDown's next appearance on pay-per-view is going to be WrestleMania, which is the first weekend in April. So they've got 5 or 6 weeks to fill. So I'm sure they could do another Alexa versus Naomi match on SmackDown one week. And I don't know what the plans are for the women's championship at WrestleMania, but I sense that it'll be like a multi-person match that will probably involve Naomi and maybe Becky Lynch. Maybe it'll be all 4 of these women that we just discussed in a 4-way or something along those lines. I'm not sure, but I think that's probably where they're going to head with. That's where they should head with it, I think, over the next 2 months. Yeah,
I would agree with you. I think Naomi's she's the most over now she's ever been, and people really seem to eat up her entrance. So, good for her, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's just too early to put the title on her right now. So.
Yeah, people are feeling the glow, man.
Yeah, it's I got nothing for you, pal. I got nothing.
All right. Well, so we have 2 matches left, I think. So let's go to what, in my mind, is the real main event of the show.
3
Oh, there's 3? Did I miss one? We do have 3. We do have 3. My mistake.
Okay.
But let's go. I think what is the real main event of the show, which is Apollo Crews and Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler in a handicap match.
Sign me up, buddy. Sign me up for this match. It's funny because you got 3 guys in this match that can really, really work. 3 guys that are all very good in the ring. Some of them are lacking some of that promo ability, but for the most part, these guys, for all intents and purposes, this should be a pretty entertaining match. But I think Dolph Ziggler kind of has to win, continually, crushing the hopes and the dreams and the spirits of Apollo Crews and Kalisto. So I'm saying Dolph Ziggler gets the win here.
Yeah, I think so too. I guess I missed the segment or where this match was announced in terms of why it's I know why it's a handicap match, I guess, just because of what Dolph's been doing and, attacking these guys with chairs and stuff like that. But, I think like whatever they're doing with Ziggler, like the story sort of centers around him, right? Like it's, he turned and now he's kind of got this different attitude and whatnot. So I think he is the one that should get the win here. I don't know where they're going to go with him from here, but I think he will get the win. So that leads us to Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. And, I think the story here obviously is Orton won the Rumble, so he's in line for a WWE title match at WrestleMania. Harper recently left the Wyatt family as per, I guess, jealousy or perceived favoritism from Bray towards Randy Orton, and Harper kind of broke away. So these guys have fought before, but now they're getting a shot at it on pay-per-view. So what are your thoughts here, buddy? What do you think?
I don't know. This is a tough one. I feel like they're finally starting to do something with Luke Harper in terms of getting him to that main event level, almost to the main event push. He's fantastic in the ring. For people that don't. Side note about Luke Harper, I just heard him on a podcast. Everybody thought that when he was in the Indies, his name was Brody Lee. Everybody thought that was from Brian Lee and Bruiser Brody as a combination. No, he actually is a huge fan of Mallrats, and he chose the name Brody after Brody and Mallrats.
Nice. How about that?
Yeah, I was like, man, I like Luke Harper so much more right now. So based on that alone, I'm picking him to beat Randy Orton. I also feel like if you're building him up to be this force, you can't. Well, no, I don't know. Okay, Randy just won the Rumble. Man, this is a tough one. I just hope they wouldn't undercut Luke Harper this early with a big loss. So I'm gonna go with the upset here, and I'm gonna say Luke Harper to Randy Orton to get that main event push.
Yeah, I see. It's a tough one, I think, because of the reasons you mentioned, right? It's Orton just won the Rumble. He's gonna be in one of the main events, I guess, at WrestleMania or whatever, a big time match at WrestleMania as a title match. But Harper, they just turned him face. So it's hard. You don't want to cut either guy off at the legs in some senses. Like I'm sure Orton can absorb a loss pretty easily, but when you're kind of grooming him for, a championship match, and I'm not sure if he's going to win that title or not, but it's hard to hang a loss on him here. But then with Harper, it's like, you got to get him some sort of credibility to establish him as a face and somebody who can win matches in big spots. But, I just think that they'll probably let Orton win here again, even though he's beaten Harper a couple times. Maybe I don't know. Maybe what they'll do is, if and when Orton wins a title, maybe they'll have Harper come back and maybe beat him in a non-title match or something like that. I'm not sure, but I'm just going to stick with Orton here, figuring that he'll get the win and kind of keep some momentum heading into WrestleMania. And that leads us to the Elimination Chamber match itself, which is a 6-man match for the WWE Championship. It's champion John Cena, having just won the title at the Rumble a couple weeks ago, against former champion AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Baron Corbin, and Bray Wyatt. And from what I've heard, they're promising.
Sorry to cut you off, but before we get into this, I'm going to challenge you to do something I'm going to do myself. I'm going to challenge you not only pick the winner of this match, I'm going to challenge you to pick the order of the eliminations.
Oof. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. All right. I'll think about that here as we do this. Okay. So, all right. I guess the one thing that they've said on TV, and I don't know what this really means, but they have said this is I don't know if it's new and improved Elimination Chamber. So I'm not sure if the appearance of the chamber or the way that they structure it is going to be different, but we'll have to see on Sunday. Supposedly they've made some sort of modifications to it, which I guess is fair considering it debuted almost 15 years ago. So there's nothing wrong, I guess, with making some cosmetic changes to it, whatever they're going to do. But as far as, should I start with the winner? Do you want me to start with the winner first?
I want you to start with I want you to start with who's getting eliminated first and work our way towards the winner. And this is, to be fair, we did not talk about this. It just dawned on me. I'm throwing a monkey wrench into the plans here, Joe.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say, oh man, this is a tough one here because I don't know. I'll say Ambrose is the first one eliminated in the match. And I'm throwing that in there because I don't know. I have a feeling of where all the other guys what they're going to be doing at WrestleMania, except for him. Actually, the only thing I could think of for him is maybe feuding with Baron Corbin. So I'm going to say that Corbin eliminates Ambrose as the first guy out. And then I'll say that, I guess I'll say The Miz goes out next in the match. I think maybe Cena will eliminate Miz as the next guy out. And then I'll say that leaves what? That leaves Cena, Styles, Corbin, and Wyatt. I'll say Corbin is the next guy eliminated, followed by AJ Styles. And then finally, that'll come down to John Cena and Bray Wyatt. And I will say that John Cena will then be eliminated, and Bray Wyatt will be the WWE champion after the Elimination Chamber. How does that sound?
That's good booking. I really like the sound of it. I have Bray Wyatt winning as well. I think everybody in their right mind does, but I went about it a little bit differently, buddy. I'm going to tell you, the first person eliminated, you want to build heat? John Cena.
Okay.
I think
all right.
John Cena gets eliminated. You know, hush comes over the crowd. It was kind of like when Taz gave up the ECW title. It was a triple threat between him, Masato Tanaka, and Mike Awesome. Elimination match. Taz the champion, first one out. Hush comes over the crowd. That match means so much more. So, John Cena is going to be the first guy out, followed by Dean Ambrose. Then I'm probably going to say then Corbin, then The Miz, and then it's going to be AJ and Bray Wyatt. And I think Bray Wyatt's going to get the Duke, and Bray Wyatt's going to walk out as champion.
Yeah, it seems like that's the move, I think, as far as who comes out the champion, right? Which, I mean, we can go in all sorts of different directions with that as far as why put the title on Cena to begin with if he was only going to keep it for 2 weeks, and like, why not just let Styles keep it till here? But I don't know, maybe they have some plans in mind. I'm not sure. I think that, so it seems like they're heading towards Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton for the title at WrestleMania. So, the win here for Bray would set that up. I don't know what Ambrose is doing at WrestleMania. He's the only one I really haven't read any rumors or plans for. So my thought is maybe they'll just go with Corbin, because I know him and Corbin are kind of been mixing it up a little bit, and that might not be a bad IC title match. But I don't know if they're going to go straight up with those guys or throw other people into the mix. Styles, I think, is supposed to face Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. At least that's last I heard was the plan. And then Cena potentially is going to be in a mixed tag match at WrestleMania with him and Nikki against The Miz and Maurice. So that's I was trying to figure out ways to kind of start build to some of those matches and how they lead, if those are in fact going to be the plans. But we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they go, and if they protect certain guys or they kick off certain feuds. There's a lot of things they can do with the 6 guys in this match. But I would expect it to be, I don't know what you think, but I'm expecting it to be a pretty solid match. I mean, all the guys involved for the most part are pretty, either decent to good or really good wrestlers. So I think there's a lot of potential here for some cool things to happen.
Yeah, I think all the spots in this match are probably going to be pretty awesome. But I guess we can't really talk too much about it, because if it's going to be a new and improved Elimination Chamber, we really have no idea what they're going to be able to do. The spots outside, I did watch a couple of Elimination Chamber matches recently, just to kind of familiarize myself with the match and how it's booked and stuff like that. And the spots they have outside are just, I guess, the metal grate are brutal. They don't look like much, but that's just real. Like, you're just taking body slams on steel. That's 10 times worse than the outside of the ring. So I think I think it'll be a good match. I think you're probably going to see AJ Styles come out looking the strongest in it, to be honest with you. And I think because he's the best in the ring. But I think that maybe they might do something. Maybe you get a new member of the Wyatt family. You do something cool like that. That would be an interesting change of pace.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff they could do with that. I mean, I'm sure they could have the old, somebody comes up from underneath the ring or the cage gimmick, have somebody, interfere on Bray's behalf or something along those lines. I agree. I think I'm sure Styles will pull off some crazy stuff. With the